Alrighty, so we are today reviewing a kaisa VOD. So let's see. This is the one that you selected me specifically for. So Lux died, Nasus died. Alright, so Nasus, or I mean Lux rather, gave him 3 kills before you got your first death. So I can see why you'd want me to look at this one. Oh, okay. Let's go back and see real quick. Hold on. If that was... Alright, so, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I can't say this one's really your fault. I would say, usually, if the support doesn't... If they're starting top, and the mid laner and the support both fail to ward the pixel brush, you could take the, what do you call it? Take the initiative to just ward this in case they're invading, but it's not your fault or anything that the Lux dies here. This is pretty much unluck, but basically we'll find out if there was anything you could have done to mitigate it. Because I mean, yeah, there's not much you could have done on that one specifically. So let's continue moving forward, and assuming you didn't get caught. There's no thing there. All right, so. It's situations like this also where you definitely don't want to you don't want to overthink what's happening, because yeah, I mean, you're against the most broken champ in the game and she has a kill, but she's going to definitely make some mistakes that you're going to want to look to capitalize on even more so now that she's already got a kill. A way to think about this lane going in that I would say is play Brand's skill shots like a shot clock in basketball. I don't watch basketball, but I understand how it works. So if you watch it, maybe the analogy will help you. But it's like when you see Brand use his W or his Q is more important. But any skill shot that he uses, you got to think of that as like a window, an opportunity of time for you to try to all in these two. Because there's not going to be many windows of opportunity of you to all in this start. Unless Lux just, I mean, hits easy binds, but this bitch is gonna be able to, you know, spell shield it later anyway. So definitely gotta be looking for these windows on Brand's cooldowns, and I would say look at Brand's cooldowns way more intensely than Sivir's cooldowns, and that goes for most situations in terms of AD support synergy, because support cooldowns are, you know, all their damage. They don't auto attack as much, whereas, you know, AD cooldowns aren't as big of a deal to think about. You know, it's more of like that's more ultra specific. If you know, if it's like a Varus or something that's like a spell casting AD, maybe an Ezreal with his E and shit like that. But for a Sivir, you're mainly thinking about the Brand's cooldowns and the Sivir Q that you're gonna try to dodge as best as you can. But you know, there's not really like a cooldown you're thinking about for it, because it's really short. It's mainly mana costs that keep her in line with it. So anyways, yeah, we're getting started here. They already know that you guys aren't, or your jungler started topside, so basically, with that in mind, you didn't need to fake leash or anything like that. So you're getting a little, alright, nice, dodge the second half. That's the, there you go, you're trading back. Got the minion, okay. Alright, that trade hurt a bit, but it wasn't the worst. It was mainly just, you could have walked back after your first auto, but, you know, those are little things that you're not really gonna... You're gonna learn on your own for with a higher sample size of games. It's not you're not gonna learn that from me just saying it in, you know, a VOD review. It's just little things like that. So it's pretty much akin to like getting CS. You know, it's not really worth mentioning in a specific scenario. Whew. My socks are wet as hell, bro. I just got done work. It was so rainy. Oh fuck. All right, so we're gonna heat it up a little bit here. Just farming up. Nice dodge there. Nice you won that trade, even though you were low HP. Yeah, good job. Just sitting back at tower. Lux is joining you. Good, good, good. What is your secondary runes? Hang on. How do I... I'm not sure how to check your secondary. I don't know if that's you being stupid or... Okay, never mind. You did go biscuits. Good, good, good. Because I was going to say biscuits in this lane is something you should think about as an option. But you did go it, so good job. Good on you. Good, it's good stuff there. Okay. So you're down a bit in farm, but that's kind of... It's pretty hard to beat Sivir in farm, you know? Usually if you beat her, you gotta do it through kills. Lux dies there again, that's a yikes, but, you know, it's not all funneled into the Sivir still, which is good. You know, it's something. It's something. Let's see. Alright, nice. You're keeping up good enough in farm for the matchup, especially since your supports died twice. You're doing pretty good there, and you're good getting out of there. You know, alright, well, you didn't actually, let me see if you needed a flash there real quick. I don't think you needed to, but it is important. Like, you don't, like, flashing is always bad, you know, to waste, but as an AD, it's all the more important. So when you're in situations like that, let's see if you absolutely had to flash. Let's see Brand's cooldown. So he doesn't have flash, okay. He uses his E, and then, okay, never mind, you were right to flash. He still had his, or no, he didn't have mana for W though. So let's see, 60, it was pretty close though. I mean, alright, yeah, I would have flashed that too. Alright, you're good, you're good. Just let's keep going and see. So I haven't really seen any mistakes yet that you have really made here. You've dodged the Sivir Q is fine. You've dodged enough of the Brand stuff, but you did get a force back here. I would say in this situation, unless you might have the boot rune, so this might not apply, but I would say go boots just because they have both of them have skill shots to dodge. So boots early is always good if you're in like a low gold buy and you can't get an ideal item like, you know, pickaxe or tier or whatever, BF sword type shit. But that's part of the reason I'd actually recommend if you're in the inspiration tree and you go time warp. I like to go what is it called? I like to go stopwatch instead of boots, just because I don't really like having boots time to be forced on Kaisa, because you have a very limited amount of shit you really want to buy early. So boots is like generally something good to get with like low amounts of gold in the early stages. Like for instance, first back, sometimes you could get a pickaxe, and then if you have like an awkward amount of gold left over, like 310, let's say, you can't get a fucking, you know, a sapphire crystal, you could just get boots in that situation, as opposed to just like sort of sitting on the gold or getting a dagger or something that's not really going to help you until later. So let's continue. It's a preference though. If you like the boots, I'm not trying to tell you to not do it. So it's just food for thought, I guess, basically. So Sivir spell shielded your W. So Nautilus is ganking bot. So yeah, you got up. Okay, I don't know what Lux is up to there. Okay, well, either way, good job noticing that and running immediately. Lux hasn't used many biscuits either, jeez. Okay, nice trade there. Hit him with the W. Good stuff, good stuff. You're still keeping a modest amount of CS within Sivir. And right now, if you look at the scores of your team, if you see that Rengar is kind of trying to play the same way as you, it's something to note for the later game when you see someone in the elo that you're in, whatever it may be. It's the same with me. You know, when I see someone in plat that's also sort of playing modest, safe, trying to get farm, not trying to just, you know, they're not just AFK fighting, sort of like a Yasuo or Nasus, or even, I guess, a Lux support, you know, might tend to do. But if you find a player like this, try to, like, I don't know if there's going to be a situation like this going to arise, but if you see a person like this on your team, and then let's say, like, you're choosing between a wave and helping them, always help them, whereas if it's someone like Lux, just get the wave. That's just kind of like one of the mindsets that I would say is really good to have, and noticing basically when teammates are actually like, they're trying to win the game in a macro way rather than trying to just fight over and over like a lot of low elo players do. And by low elo I even mean in plat, because it's not like you're going to escape that once you climb a little bit. It's still there, so look forward to that. But anyways, let's continue. Damn, a bunch of Schrodinger's minions there, and then you do what I always do. When I get 2 Schrodinger's melees, I just queue the fucking the casters because I'm mad. Yeah, it's a bad habit, so try to not do that. I do it too, so I'm not you know, raking you through the coals with that. But it's just a bad habit. This is me totally right here though. Like every fucking time, 1 Schrodinger's melee. You ulted that one, so that one was on you. But then this other one was right here. Just another Schrodinger's minion. And then right there, yeah, right there it just went to shit because you wanted to cue that, and then yeah, that was yikes. It's all good though. That's it'll happen, dude. I do that shit as well, and I'm a fucking Kaisa one tricks. So I mean, it happens. It happens. So let's continue. I'm pretty sure Lux dies again, if I remember the score correctly. Oh my god, that brand damage, bro. Not that Lux could do equal damage with her brokenness, but they're both in the same league. That's the unfortunate part for this particular Lux. I don't know why this guy is still sitting on a biscuit. He's gonna need that health later. Like, okay. Oh, it feels fucking bad, man. This Lux, Jesus. He's not even like he's not even trolling. That's probably the unfortunate part. But anyways, so we're really not having a good time here in this lane. I can see that, and I can relate. So it's all about what you can. Okay, so yeah, the Rengar does come bot. You are trying to do your bit. Oh, dude, if that hit though, you didn't have flash here, and then yeah, you shouldn't path up river ever in a in a lane like this, especially if your jungler is pathing back in your lane, because by default, let's see. Did you have vision of Nautilus? Hold on, there's vision here, so this might have been this might have just been your eyes playing tricks and you didn't see him for a sec. So he did crab up here. Oh wait, no, this was their crab. Okay, so you didn't have vision of jack shit. Yeah, so if you don't have vision of the river like this, yeah, you never want to run up river without vision. I know that you're kind of in like a you're scared as fuck. You got to run somewhere from the river, but let's see where you went too far forward, because you hit some threshold at some point where you kind of went above your boundaries here. Let's see where that might have been. See if there was something that indicated. All right, so let me see something real quick with your cooldowns. Thinking about something real quick. All right, so you did have W. So let me see something. And this might sound like tedious stuff, but like this is the stuff you gotta like do as an AD. Like these little tiny things. Like what I'm thinking right here is, if you used your W on Rengar before you engaged this, you actually could have just secured him. Let me see. So yeah, if Rengar is right here with his ultimate, or any jungler that, like I mentioned earlier, he's the only person on your team that you can look to rely on, at least at like whatever it was, the 5-minute mark, and he's still trucking along. Now you can see he's got himself a kill and assist. He got Yasuo a kill, and he got a kill onto the Darius. So this guy is someone you want to like trust. So right here, what you should have done is you gotta walk right about like. You got to walk right here so that you're away from the unwarded river, and you're in a spot where you can W Q the. If you E'd right here to right here, and you W Q the brand with an auto, and then back up, you could have got out with a free assist. Let's see, or a kill even. Yeah, so these are okay. These are their minions. So let's see real quick where he paths. Hold on. Speed this regular, because this I'm focusing on this specifically because this early game stuff really matters when your support's feeding. Like if you make one subtle mistake when your support is this bad, the whole game is pretty much fucked. So you got to pretty much do everything in your power in these like sort of situations where the game is demanding clutch gameplay, and especially if this because this Rengar coming to help you doesn't always happen. Sometimes you're in a lane like this and you have jack shit to work with, Like so far, the Naut hasn't ganked you. The Rengar is the first one to actually gank bot. So that's pretty much, if your support is just running it down, that's pretty much, it leaves you to take advantage of this guy who knows how to play the game. Okay, and that goes for any teammate that you see, even if it's a top laner. Let's say it's a top laner that's this game, that's the only one that doesn't have a death, and that's like you, and they're just trying to like survive and get objectives with that survival. If it's a top laner, just play ultra fucking safe until the mid to late game when the top laner is with you. But if you have the jungler, and especially if he comes to your lane, you've got to put as much damage as you can out before he comes in the first place to set him up, because these guys aren't afraid of you in the slightest. You're level 4, this dude's level 6, this guy's level 5, and he's got this fed brand, so he's not worried at all about the level 4 Kaisa. Okay, so if you go up to do damage really quick and then you run back out, they're gonna be like, what is this Kaisa doing? You know, they're gonna be really aggressive towards your tower and you, and it gives the Rengar that much easier of a time and a lane to run in and kill them. So what you should have done right here when the Brand's here is you should have W'd him right there. You didn't have to Q there, but if you just threw a W back there because you see this guy coming and he's running directly through a pink, once they take the damage and they see him, it's too late because they already took the damage. But now that they see him coming, they know, well, not necessarily they know, but if they're good players, they're going to know that you want like a piece of this and that Rengar can't kill you without, or kill them without your help. So they're going to immediately turn and focus you, which is going to put you in the situation that you ended up in where you had already used your E and you were forward without flash or heal, and basically, you know, you almost had a lane to get out, but their jungler did counter gank. So what you did here was good, and the fact that you were pathing up, you should honestly right here have just walked back to tower after this. But like, alright, well he healed, so let me see. So there was yeah, you should have done the W earlier and then basically walked out right there. That would have been the perfect way for you to play that, but you used the W a little late, and again, that's not something you should, you know, I'm expecting you to have already know all this shit. It's just things you need to think about. Little tiny things in the lane phase that make an inting support, like, much less basically detrimental to the entire game for you. And every game is going to have different situations like this, but as time, you know, moves, you'll learn how to use these tiny little variables to your advantage. And it would have avoided this death basically, because if you had been aggro before Rengar came, they wouldn't have basically been like ready to just kill you, because of the fact that A, you would have had the element of surprise being alone, B, you would have had your W to run out, or your E to run out with after using W, and C, basically Rengar would be the final surprise as opposed to you and Rengar going in at the same time and leaving you exposed. Because if you go in by yourself real quick for a trade, they're not both going to be ready to trade back necessarily if you're alone. Whereas once Rengar ult is on one of them, they're suddenly ready to have a little team fight, and that involves focusing you first. But they're not thinking to focus you at all if they're pushing the wave over here and you're just farming under tower AFK. They're not just going to expect a random W, you know, auto Q or whatever you can get off, even if it's just a W. You can hit the Brand. That's the point. Because if you hit the W on the Brand, as you can see, he would have been dead. Let's maxed it. So yeah, you would have done 114, 100. With a W auto, basically, he was going to die, or the red buff of the Rengar. The point is, let's just go back again so that you remember. Right here, when you had you had full mana, so there was no reason not to just throw your spell out at him. It's just basically like when you get more comfortable on specific champs like Kaisa, you're going to be more like accustomed in your brain to being like, this guy is, you know, X units away, I use W, it can hit him, kind of shit. So right here, let's see again. Brand gives it to you right here. Let's see. Right here, he has no minions and he walks, where does he go? Right here. If you W'd right down that line, let me see. Yeah, if you W'd right down that line, he would have got hit by it, and then you could have auto-queued him right there, and basically you could have just eat out after that, and then Rengar would have had very easy time killing the Brand. So it's about helping. Part of the lesson is about like knowing when to apply the damage for your assassins. If they're the person on your team that you can look to. Again, if it's the Yasuo coming to your lane, you shouldn't be thinking about any of these things I'm just talking about with like the subtle damage, because like you wouldn't trust them the same way that you trust someone who's playing the same way as you. So that's kind of the moral of the story here, is like knowing which teammates to play around and trust, and then applying those subtle like things to help that person and give them an easier time. But again, this wasn't badly played by you or anything. You had to dodge the Q, you had to run that. It was mainly just you being in this position that I'm trying to like explain how it could have gone differently. So yeah, we'll keep moving forward now. I don't want to stay on this point for way too long, because like one death isn't the end on Kaisa like it might be on Draven. Because if you were playing Draven right now and you were in this situation, the game would already be over. But since you're on Kaisa, it's still like, you know, there's still things that can be done. So let's see. So Lux is honestly playing pretty safe towards the tower, which is not the worst you can ask for. Because some Luxes right here would literally just be pushing the wave while you're fucking running back, which is just really tilting, as you can imagine. So right there, you queued the wave, so you're pushing the wave. You don't want to push the wave in this lane anymore at all. You're level 4. He's level 6. Sivir's also level 6. Sivir's level 6. Even if it was any level 6, but it's just the fact that her ult is literally running you down and killing you. It's all the more reason that you don't want to give her all this space to run you down. Especially since they have hard CC and obviously the Sivir's fed. But like even if those variables weren't like the case, it's just the fact that Sivir's ult does that you want to be cautious about. Especially, well, your flash is coming back up. So I mean, but still, you do want to freeze here though. When you're losing in a lane like this, freeze. Don't ever push this shit, or you're asking for your support to die more. See, he just yeah. Because even if you can handle it with your flash, you can't like expect your support to be able to handle it. And also you're missing way more minions by pushing it. So not only are you denying yourself minions in the long run, but in the short run you are, because it is easier like in the short run to just last hit rather than pushing the wave. So it's another thing to think about. If you're like just regular tilted and you want to freeze, you'll get more minions when you're tilted freezing if you're tilted pushing. So that one, you got hit by the stun. That's, that happens. But this is pretty much because you were pushed up. So, like, alright, yeah, so, what happened as a result of you pushing up here, basically, is you denied yourself a bunch of minions, and then you let them trade on you just because you were hitting the minions. If you're under here, they have a much harder time trading on you when you're just hitting minions, but when you're out here, you're exposing yourself much more to taking, like, trades. So if you have no hope of fighting in the lane like in this situation, never push the wave. Just what you're doing right now is pretty much all you can do. You can walk up till last hit, but if they come to lane and the minions aren't going to be last hit in like the next couple seconds, just walk back to tower. You're going to lose like 1 or 2 minions, but you just watched you lose like 4 anyway just because of the messing up last hits, and that's fine, but it's just the principle of the fact that and yeah, these guys are going to bully you under tower, but again, this is part of the reason is because of the fact that your health is already chunked. It was chunked the fuck out already from earlier, so if you started here with full HP under tower, they'd have a much harder time trading with you, and if they were trading with you and they took tower shots, it would be much less beneficial for them, since you'd have more HP to like just kill them if they took it, too many with time. So let's see. Sivir, you're just hanging back. Oh, that was unlucky with the minions going that way. So you lost your tower here. This is the best situation for you, though, here to just not have a tower because... Oh. So right here, yeah, you could have walked up more and actually potentially got a kill there and used your heal on the support. You're definitely tilted at this point, and that's understandable. But, it's basically like having the mentality... You gotta kind of turn your brain into a rock. Like, I mean, that was kind of why I had that pun name in Season 6, Rock Bottom, because, you gotta be the rock of your team in most situations. It was just that the meta was never so favored against ADCs that it was the meme. But anyways, but yeah, you gotta just, like, not get upset about that kind of shit, and you always gotta be ready to heal these guys, even when they're inting your lane. Like, a lot of, the Tyler 1-esque supports will just be like, my support's feeding, I won't heal. But, like, you're doing yourself a disservice by not healing them as well and saving it, because you're still giving basically your competition gold. So you always want to just heal them regardless and try to mitigate that as much as possible. And if it was just a mechanical mistake, then, that's fine. Don't worry about any of that shit I'm saying. I'm just saying if you were healing because you were angry, and but right here, since they stopped autoing your tower, you gotta be right up here. This guy already flashed because he knows that if you're autoing him, he's dead. So right here, let's see. If you had Q up in 1 second, so if you were right here, and you WQ autoed him, and then let's say he flashed away, and you E'd forward and flat. Yeah, your Yasuo is here too. You gotta be right here. Like, you gotta be a little more aggro when they're under tower, so that you can get these kind of dive kills, because people make these kind of stupid, like, dive plays very surprisingly often, and they're gonna be, like, this low, and you're gonna have that many cooldowns. Look how much HP and mana you have. Look, you still got both your summon. Like, this is an easy kill. So you gotta be positioned a little more far forward under turret. Yeah, Brand didn't have ult or anything, so there was no reason for you to be that far back, other than tilt. Because you have like a semi, you know. Never mind. We're gonna call him a questionable Lux. I'm not gonna say my original joke. Anyways, axing fucking E, by the way. I mean, I guess it doesn't have aftershock. So yeah, right here, you gotta be autoing these guys when they're tanking turret shots, because the turret will give you free kills, and because they're just focusing your support. They're not even trying to focus you at this point. So you gotta, even though if they were autoing tower, this wouldn't apply, and if they weren't autoing tower, you would just want to run. But since they're not autoing tower, and the tower has, you know, 200 HP, that's like 2 or 3 autos at this stage of the game for Sivir. So you gotta be on it right here, as one note. So let's continue. So he did even get a kill there. Yeah. So. You definitely should have been a little more aggro there, but I definitely understand why you're not looking to be aggro in this lane. That's completely understandable, but you gotta like kind of override like the past knowledge of like what Lux has been doing and shit, and you don't want to expect her to die. Basically, you want to still get something out of it if she's under tower doing the same shit she's already doing. It's just like if they happen to do this under tower, you can use it to your advantage, because a tower, you know, does a fuck ton of damage to say the least. So we're gonna just speed through more of this. So you're pushing it again, which is still suboptimal, because yeah, now if this Sivir freezes it, which she might actually be doing, now she's pushing it. So in Plat, you're not gonna be able to get away with this as much, because people freeze it a lot in Plat. It's pretty much the difference between like Silver and Plat, like unironically, is like freezing and like basic mechanical like things that you'll pick up, like, you know, I would say like a month of you maining this role, you already know all those little subtle things that make you, like, you know, look mechanically good in situations when you're ahead. But in terms of macro, that's the main difference between Silver and Plat 80s is wave management, I would say. Even in low Plat though, they don't do it as much, but I always get frozen out if I'm behind and I push by accident. Even one wave you push by accident, they freeze you for like 5 minutes in, like, you know, Plat 2 or 3. Like, it's rough. So you think something to think about, because it's a pretty easy way to just get kills in Silver Gold. Oh shit! Yes, so that was unfortunate. You had to use your summoners there. Let's see. So you're pretty low here, but you got the Yasuo win wall, so you could have. Oh, nice. You should have been. You should have. Oh wait, I didn't even see that bitch. Oh, I'm stupid. That's some fresh out of work there. Hold on. I'm gonna go back a little bit here then. So. I want to see how you could have played the Yasuo win wall. So the Yasuo win wall blocked the Brand ult, so you should be right now standing right about here, because you've got 2 teammates right there to defend for you, and then nice. You put your ult right there. Sivir ults though, so she starts chasing you, so this is a really good bait that you use your E and Lux. Alright, this is actually really well played. Good job. This is actually optimal, even though you got hit by both sides of that, you did end up surviving. So that was well played by you. That was good stuff, using your ult like that. So let's see. So now you're 1-1-1. So you are in the game right now. Whether or not you were aware of that at the time, you are completely in the game right now. Right now, if you clear 2 waves, you will pretty much be because look, I mean, your items, even though she has a BF sword, if you don't get hit by the second or either side of her Q ideally, but the second half of her Q, you pretty much have the same damage output. You just gotta get your experience in check off of like 2 waves, and then you're caught up. So let's see what you do. And also you guys got the dragon. So yeah, like I mean, I guess the Yasuo might be trustable in the end, but either way, like I said, I predicted from the beginning Rengar was going to be a trustable teammate, and right now you have Yasuo and Rengar to play around, so you have to be looking for that, and you don't want to trust your Lux and the Nasus the same way that you want to trust those other 2 teammates. You want to focus, like, making sure that those teammates, A, don't fall behind, and B, you can try to get a lead off of their lead. So, like, you want to piggyback their lead more, basically, because you're an AD and you can't do anything by yourself. Unless you're fed already, but since you're not. Alright, so your farm also needs to be a little better in a game like this. But that comes by freezing it. When you freeze it, you just magically get like a shit ton more minions, and you can trust me on that one. So let's see. That might be mainly what you should have worried about, but let's see if there's any things in it. Alright, there wasn't. I would say... Yeah, I mean, I would say by this point there wasn't really anything you could have done there. But I would say that freezing it definitely... And it's not like... The concept of freezing it, most people understand it, but it's more of applying it in, like, situations where you need it that is, like, something people don't do as often. Because everyone knows at this point probably what freezing and pushing is, but it's mainly their brain doesn't, like, think to do that, either one, in like, a given situation. So, let's see... So you're 30 farm behind and 4 kills behind. So let's see. I'm just gonna do a little speed lapse thing. I would say if you're this behind in farm, because it's not like this is an unheard of you know, thing to happen when you're this behind in farm. Just go to a solo lane where no one is. Literally no one is. Let's see if even Darius is. Yeah, even Darius isn't even. So just push top like non-stop. And then when you have, like, almost as much farm as Sivir, then just help your team. Because these two aren't doing terrible right now. And if you draw someone to these lane... Because right now, if you were just auto-pushing this, their tower would either fall, or someone would have to come answer it. And if someone has to come answer it, that means these Fiesta team fights... Like think about it this way. You are really fucking behind right now compared to Sivir, right? Surely. Okay, yeah. So you're behind your ADC, but, Darius is way fucking far ahead of Nasus. So if you push the wave here and you pull the Darius up here, you make it that much easier for your teammates such as the Rengar and the Yasuo, who are strong in this game. They're stronger than their what is it called? Fucking complement. They're fucking the enemy, whatever they are. Jesus Christ. They're stronger than their counterpart. That's the word I was looking for. So if these two are stronger than their counterpart, and you bring one of their strong teammates top lane while getting solo XP, pushing the CS and experience gap, all while making your teammates have an easier team fight without you, because it's going to be without you regardless. Even if you're there, it's pretty much without you at this point. Maybe not in this situation, but if you're, let's say you're against an Akali, an Aurelia, a Sivir, and a Brand, and a fucking Rengar, it's over for you. So in a situation like that, you just want to bring people, in any situation where you're behind, you want to bring someone who's stronger than you to a side lane to make the fights easier for these two, and then even better if you rotate and then you have numbers advantage as well. But if you just push waves in the side when you're behind like this because your support ran it down and you just AFK in the side lane for like 5 to 10 minutes, you come out and you're suddenly like on par with this dude because he's just been fucking around with his teammates for, you know, like 10 minutes because he's like, oh, I won lane, this Kaisa's buyout, he's not going to do anything. You gotta just, you basically gotta prove them wrong by just disappearing and taking side lane, taking fucking jungle camps, taking everything on the fucking map you can instead of just getting cucked for farm by your fed teammates. You see why that makes sense? So we're going to move forward more with that, after that being said. Yeah, because you're just getting denied minions here. This is what I kind of meant, where it's like you're barely even here when you're here, so you might as well just be here. And then your teammates die, so that would have just happened anyway, and you could have been farming over here, getting all this experience, and then basically late game when they're up this far as opposed to this far, you're here now suddenly with the experience and the gold matched up and shit. Doesn't even matter what your fucking Lux does, you know, in fact, it's even better when your supports don't follow you into the side lanes after they ran it down, because it means you can get the solo XP and then you actually have a fucking, you know, you have a breath in the game. And I highly doubt this Lux would follow you into solo lanes, so this is good though, getting the mid wave here. And Nasus went back top, so you know, you wouldn't want to go top there. So right now, you should clear this, and then you should push bot, because there's a drag up, and there's not much you can do about that, but you can push it, and they're probably going to be on drag, so. Yeah, you should have, never mind, you shouldn't have gone bot, you're right, you're right. He's getting away. Nice, nice. No fighting. Good, good, good. So they're getting drag. I'm gonna guess you guys are gonna try to contest it. Yeah, so there's not much that you can do there. But you can see right now, if you were pushing, if you had gone top and pushed this, tower's gone. Just another thing to think about. You gotta like when there's a tower in the side lane like this, or even if it's full, you always gotta be looking to when you can push the wave to make the tower take damage, because you won't get anywhere in a game if you're down all these towers. So you gotta passively get towers by pushing waves and giving yourself experience to catch up, because you're never gonna catch up if you're always around teammates. It's sort of like it's dichotomy that you got to get a balance of, where it's like you don't want to always be around teammates because they're going to just deny you all the resources, but you also don't want to just like never be with teammates. So, but like in a situation like this, you got to make a decision if there's anything good that's going to come from this, and it looks like there actually might have been, but so let's say that there is. You stay with your team in this situation, but you have to make those determinations of when you can escape to a side lane to push. Because right here, I would say you should push this side lane right here, and then look and see if your team starts fighting or not. Oh wait, maybe. All right. Well, these guys are really just not being very nice. But yeah, I figured this was gonna go bad in some way or another, but we'll find out, honestly. So Yasuo is basically doing what I was just saying, and then you're getting mid, which is fine. It's just the fact that there's way more pressure generally in the mid lane than the side lanes. So if you have a strong mid laner, usually you want to just slide the burden onto them, because you can't like defend this mid lane against a level 12 Vladimir as opposed to the Yasuo, who actually can. The difference in top lane is that it's much a longer lane, so like you can just run up here, get a wave, and run away. And their vision only sees you when you're clearing the waves, so they don't know, like, they're not just going to assume you're going to turret, and if they do, that's great because you're suddenly gone. They're not also going to assume you go back and they're suddenly over here, generally. And if they do, you know, you can back over here, and that's the shit they assume, is that you just back over here, so they don't usually go around like that and try to get you and shit. But if the Yasuo is top, though, all you can really do is get mid, but let's see if they just run at you and kill you. Alright, yeah, you're good. They're gonna get mid tower then. Yeah, there's not much else you can do here. But now that they've got the inhib down, just stay mid and always get the wave, because it's always pushing. So let's see though. Your team might want to just naturally fight as soon as they get the inhib, as is tradition. So, alright, well that worked out because of that back timing. Could have easily gone really poorly. Unfortunately, you didn't get that kill. Unfortunately, Nasus got it, but you're going to want to secure yourself kills like that if you have a 1 in 7 like person trying to snag that. If you want to realistically stay in, you got to try to snag that. Alright, let's see. So, Lux is just really not making this easy. So yeah, I mean, I can't say you're going to win games like this every game when you have a support like this, but hopefully, hopefully I was able, well, maybe we don't have to stop it here. Maybe there's still more to do. Maybe there's still more to analyze. You are the same level as Sivir now, so that is good. I just can't help but think this Lux is just going to throw the rest of the game. Because, like, none of the shit he's doing makes any sense. And, like, there are unwinnable games, you know. The lesson isn't that there's something you can do in every game. It's that every game there is something to be done that could, you know, raise your chances. Because it's all about raising odds. You know, you can't always guarantee you'll win every game. Well, you can actually guarantee you'll lose every game. That's not true. But either way, let's see what your build's at. So you do have your Q upgrade now. So you're going to want to take a risk next fight. Because if you're in a situation like this, it's nice to have like a nice KDA and everything. But like you're going to want to, you have to take risks basically to mitigate the amount of like, I don't want to insult random silvers, so I'm not going to mitigate your support's gameplay, okay? Let's just go with that, sure. So this is good because right now you're getting an experience lead on the Sivir. Unfortunately, your team died mid, but you're getting close in experience. You're now level 11. Sivir just got level 11. You got the same level as their jungler, which is really good. So the only people you really have to like, the only people I would say you can't. Oh, okay. So he AFK'd. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Let's see. Does he come back? Oh, he comes back. Oh, they got a kill back though. So let's see. So you did end up catching up basically to the Sivir's farm, which is good. But it says oh. Yeah, I mean, if your teammate's AFK in this situation, you're fucked. But if they didn't, it's basically like your next step would be to like take a risk in a team fight and trust your mechanics, or die trying to try to win the game. And if it succeeds, you know, come back. If not, you lose. But this is where mid to late game Kaisa comes online. You never really had that chance though because fucking Rengar left. So hopefully, you know, those little things in the early game though will give you some ideas for your future games. And you didn't do bad here, so don't feel bad about games like this. Because even though your CS was like, you know, oh, yeah, see, alright, that was a risk. That was probably a good risk. Let's see again. Because 4v5s aren't guaranteed losses, but in a game like this, it's very fucking tragic when a teammate AFKs because he could have made the difference because of the fact you're already losing this much gold, I mean. Let's see. So right here, if you are to this spot-ish, then you E, you get, well, you wouldn't want to, if you E'd you wouldn't be able to survive that long. So where'd you go? There you are. Let's see what you do. So Lux is ulting. Did you have ult for, okay, they had heal. Did you have ult? Let's see. If you ulted onto the, yeah, alright. You might have been out of range, but if you ulted like to, your teammates are pretty far. Maybe that was the best decision. Let's see what you did though. So you didn't auto Sivir. You definitely would, I mean, that's like, it's hard to pull that auto off. I'm not, you know, just saying be perfect, but if you didn't already, you know, you probably figured that one out, that auto Sivir, so we'll just leave it at that. That was a good risk to take. It was a good try on your part. Oh, nice, nice. Do you have Vlad? Do you have Vlad? Watch the Sivir Q. Nice. Wasn't far enough. You did the Q too early. That'll happen though. I'm still guilty of that plenty. Let's see. Do you have W? All right, you throw your W right now, and it'll hit him. Oh, you did it. Nice. All right, good shit, dude. Good shit. Now they're pushing top though, so let's see. Alright, well, NASA stopped his back a little early. That was something. They got another inhib. I would say go PD. Actually, nah, you're right with Rage Blade. Never mind. Forgot this isn't Vayne for a second there. Oh, also you're maxing E or W. You gotta max E because of the I believe it's the cooldown. Yeah, the cooldown is long as fuck with without maxing it. But yeah, this damage is really mundane when you scale. It mostly is you see the brown or the orange fucking scaling right there? That's pretty much all the damage. Because you see right here, you have 3 points in it, and it's still literally doing 70 damage. So yeah, don't max W second. Max E second. It's also the one you evolve. Well, I mean, you already knew that, but yeah. So basically, I guess yeah, so you're still maxing W, and now it's up to, what, 80 damage? 95? So it's still mundane, you don't really want to max that. It's all in the scaling on that ability. Let's see. I'm guessing you took the risk, like I was saying. So you did probably make the right call, but there was just nothing left you could have done. Let's see. Nice, nice. Oh, she actually hit you with that? Fuck, man. Yeah, this is a rough one, dude. It's mainly those early things that you want to look out for, and it would make the whole game easier, you know? So, basically, I would say that's pretty much all you really would want to think about for a game like that. But I wouldn't say that this is a game you're going to win every time, so don't feel bad about, you know, shit like this. All right.